Hi, this is Dan with T3 Tailwheel Suspensions. I'm going to attempt to show you how to change out a leaf spring on your Cessna 170B to a T3 tailwheel suspension. First of all, I've laid out some tools here, some pliers, 3/8, half, 7/16, 9/16, and 5/8, and a little pry bar and a punch. That'll all help you get everything put in. The T3 tailwheel suspension just got STC'd for the 170s, all series 170s. But the 170, early 170s have to have this fish mouth type bracket on it. It's a conversion. You can change your 170s or 170As to the B type fish mouth bracket. That's the only way this T3 will work with the STC. The 305A bird dog is approved now. I'd like to see the Bs and the Cs, but there was to get the STC, it was a change in weight, and it would have been a big deal trying to get everything approved for them. But for the moment, we have the A's anyways. So I am going to set this up and hopefully explain to you how easy it is, really. And I have the tail off my 170. You'll have to work around your rudder a little bit, but you won't have to take the rudder off or the stabilizer or anything like that. You can just put it on put the T3 on without having to do any of that. Currently, I'm building up a Stutes powered 170, which really cool conversion from Stutes. And yeah, in the background is my radial engine project. I spent a month and a half playing here in the hangar and doing that. But anyways, I will set this up on a tripod and try to explain the easy way to do it. First of all, I'm going to say, just listen to your mechanic. Your mechanic's always right. I'm going to use a Makita, or not a Makita, DeWalt, to do fastening and unfastening of my bolts, just for sake of matter of time and to make sure I don't get carpal tunnel syndrome. So first we're going to take the tail wheel off. So now I'm just going to loosen up these bolts. I'm only going to take out these two rear ones, these two four front ones. I'm just going to loosen them up to get this plate so it moves up and down and be able to pull this spring out of here. You can see that's already separated there and it's a little bit loose. Just what we're looking for. So now I'm going to take the clamp off. So now I've got to take the main bolt out, this main bolt here that goes through the tail spring. That bolt will also get reused for the T3. Take these two through bolts will be replaced with the T3 bolts that are supplied with the T3. These wafers also, or wedges, also get reused with the T3. So this here I'm using to pry this open a little bit. So actually what we'll do is we'll take these two bolts completely out. So now you can see I can lift on this a little bit easier and the spring comes right out. So now everything here is all set up to install the T3. We've removed the tail spring, originally from Cessna or from Univer for this one here. And everything is all set up now to install the T3. This is pretty much how you're going to get the T3 from Airframes or Alaska Gear Company, except theirs is going to be all painted up and, not painted, but hard-coated and all prettied up. This one has been on as a test, my test subject for the 170 and the T3 testing. But so we're going to take these pieces out of here for now. These little wedge blocks or filler blocks will go forward. They're beveled here to take this curve here. So what you might do also is, this is going to be pretty stiff. You might take and loosen this bolt here up a little bit, just to make this easier to manage to push up inside. These two bolts are the through bolts to go through here. They're a little longer than the ones that came out. So now the blocks are out, the front bolts are out, this is loose, and now this should all slide up pretty easily. So now we get the main bolt that goes down through. Actually, we'll put these side bolts in. Sometimes they're a little bit of a bear here. So the wedges go inside here. I'll put this one side in first. Now I'll slide this other wedge up underneath here. So now we've got those bolts through. Now the T3 is pretty much in there. We're going to install the main bolt that goes through the top here, that bolt that came out of the plane originally. Put the nut back on. This is a little bit difficult because the hole is really small. I'm going to go ahead and tighten this right down to draw this top plate down to make these small bolts go in easier. Okay. Now I'm going to put these two forward bolts in here. So these wedges will go in here. The wedge part goes on this area here. Now we'll put the nuts back on, everything here for the wedges. Now, for the most part, it's ready to tighten up here. We'll put the clamp on afterwards. Now we'll put the U-clamp down through, just like it was originally with the leaf springs. Okay. Now, we can't forget to retighten this bolt. We loosened this up a bit a moment ago. So we'll get that retightened. Okay. Now we got a nice tight suspension. Check all the cotter pins are in. These cotter pins need to be facing forward so that if any grass or anything comes through, it doesn't open this cotter pin. So I just take a proper size wrench and turn these forward so that everything pushes the cotter pin closed. So we didn't have to use this. This here I used to squeeze these together. Obviously I've had this on and off a few times, so it made it a lot easier because I have done that. But those are handy to use to clamp things together and get these bolts all in afterwards. Now, we'll put the tail wheel on, and that's just really simple. There's no wedge needed. It's 1.5 inches wide. And that's all there is to it. These dampeners get adjusted. Usually I tighten them all the way down tight and then back them off like 1/4 to 1/2 a turn. Other than that, your springs, you're going to get extra chain because your chain is going to be a little bit longer. The tail wheel actually sets back just an inch or two further back on the 170 than the leaf springs do. That's it.